guys, welcome back. But if you're new here, welcome to my channel. So today we are going to be doing the controversial parenting tag. This is a collaboration with the Rivera's +2 family. It's another family channel that's on YouTube, and you guys should definitely go check them out. She'll be making her own version of the controversial parenting tag. So to get started, if you are new here, I am a young mother. I am 23 years old. I am a stay-at-home mom, to be specific. My fiance is 25. We have 2 children. We have a little boy who is 3 years old and then a little girl who is 7 months old. She is a heart baby, so if you're curious on that story, I do have that video on my channel, so make sure you check that out. So let's get started. How did you give birth? So with my son, I went in to be induced because I was getting past my due date and I was tired of being pregnant. So I opted to be induced, and we got to the hospital on February 25th. And I went through the process of everything, like being induced and stuff like that. And so the next morning they were pushing it a little hard, like giving me more meds to try to speed it up a little bit. And so on the 26th, I was in active labor for 17 hours throughout the day. And then when I started pushing at 10 p.m., I believe I pushed for just over 2 hours. And he wasn't coming. His head was just slightly tilted, so he wasn't coming out. And so I actually ended up having to go in to I had to end up going in to have a C-section. So they ended up rushing me, not really rushing me because it wasn't like emergency, but they ended up taking me back to have a C-section to get him out, and he was born on the 27th at 1:07 a.m. And so for my daughter, since I had a previous C-section, she was a scheduled C-section at 39 weeks. Do you want more kids, and why? So this one's a little more complicated. So I mean, yeah, I'd probably want more kids in the future, but I probably won't have any more because my daughter, as a lot of you guys know that have watched my videos in the past, my daughter has a heart condition, and it was a genetic heart condition that we didn't even know we had, and she got it from me. And so for that reason, I don't want to risk any more kids being born with it, and any more kids that we have would be put at risk of going into cardiac arrest like my daughter did. So for that reason, no, we probably won't have any more kids. Sleeping arrangements. Does your child co-sleep, bed share, or crib? My son co-slept with me. He slept in bed with us till he was about 2.5, I believe. And then we put a toddler bed in our room to slowly transition him, which I know there's a lot of controversy on bed sharing or co-sleeping, and in my opinion, we had no problems. Like my son, like I said, bed shared with us until he was about 2.5. We had no problems getting him into his own bed, and he is now in his own room across the hall. So we don't have any problems with it. My daughter, she bed shares, and as you guys can see, there's like this railing right here, so obviously she can't fall off. But and she'll probably bed share with us until she's about 2, like we did with my son. Thoughts on child leashes, explain. So I remember before I had kids, I was kind of like, I didn't understand why people would put their children on a leash. When they say child leashes, they mean those like straps, like the harnesses that go around them and have like a little backpack, and then it's like got a leash on it that you can hold. But I didn't really understand the concept of those before I had kids. But now that I have one, hell yes, I would definitely get one for my son if I felt like I needed to. I don't see a problem with them. They make cool designs. They're little stuffed animals. And my son likes to walk on his own. He doesn't like to be put in a cart. So yes, if it keeps my kid from getting kidnapped or running off, definitely. Breast milk or formula. So both of my kids have been breastfed. My son was breastfed until he was about just after his 2nd birthday. And then my daughter is still currently breastfed, and I'll probably breastfeed her at about 1.5 to 2. I don't know if I want to breastfeed her all the way till 2, just because I've done it for so long. My children are only 3 years apart. And so I literally only got like a year break, and then I was thrown back into it. So, and during that year I was pregnant. And so I'm definitely leaning towards stopping her around 1.5. I may end up changing my mind. I know I had that plan for my son too, but I ended up wanting him to wean himself off, and so, yeah. Vaccinations vaccinations versus anti-vaccinations. So I'm 100% for vaccinations unless obviously like a child, like I can understand a child that has medical reasons they can't get vaccines, but for that reason, like there's kids that can't get them and then there's these kids that can that their parents are choosing not to. And so I just see it as not the smartest decision not to get them if your child's able to, because you're putting those kids that can't get them at risk. But I know that's probably going to stir the pot for some people, but you don't have to like me. That's my opinion. That's what I think's the right choice to do. You can have your own opinion. I have mine. We'll just leave it at that. Medications versus home remedies for illness. So my son started getting sick on Monday, or I think it was Monday. And we didn't have medicine. We had some, but it was expired since the last time that he was sick. And so I just came up, I just Pinterest some home remedy ideas and used that until we were able to get medicine. But I'm not against medication at all. Like, I don't just do one or the other. I just do whatever one I'm able to do at the moment. Thoughts on extended breastfeeding, such as breastfeeding past the average age of 6 months to 1 year. Completely for it. I even know some people that breastfed their kids till they were 4. Like, personally, I don't think I could do that, but hell yeah, go for it. I mean, if your child wants to breastfeed and you have the patience for it, go ahead. Do it as long as they want to. Baby wearing, sling, wrap, carrier, etc. Yeah, so with my son, I didn't baby wear. He didn't like it, but with my daughter, I do it, and I'm so happy she does because it makes grocery shopping and like just shopping in general so much easier. Because we don't have to we have like this huge double stroller that we don't really like taking everywhere. And so it's kind of nice just to be able to like put her in we only have a wrap or like a buckle carrier. She used to use a sling when she was like younger, but she outgrew that, so I don't use it anymore. Electronics for kids. So yes, my son has a tablet. He has a Kindle Fire, and we use that. He's able to use it a few times throughout the day, and sometimes he'll go to bed with it, but we don't let him actually like go to sleep with it. We usually take it from him at some point throughout the night, so he has to like lay down and just go to sleep. We are pretty strict with his electronics just because we don't want him to like overuse them. We want him to actually like be creative and like get away from the screen for a little while. Spoiling your kids. So I guess, yeah, our kids are pretty spoiled probably. We like the idea of being able to provide our kids with things that maybe we weren't able to get as a child. And I'm not saying that like I wasn't able to get what I wanted, because I was probably spoiled for all I know. I mean, obviously in my opinion I wasn't, but to other kids it's probably considered spoiling. But we just like the idea of being able to like give our kids things that we weren't able to have, so it does come off as like spoiling our kids. Raising religious children. So Jake and I believe in God, but we aren't going to raise our kids to be like pushed into a certain religion. They can choose whatever they want to believe or whatever. We don't want to like force an idea on them if that's not what they're open to. We're going to love them no matter what, and obviously we prefer our children to believe in God, but if that's not what they want to do, then we're not going to make them do that. Do you believe in piercing a baby's ears? And your thoughts? So we obviously we didn't pierce my son's ears, and I remember when I was pregnant, Jake and I had a few conversations about wanting to pierce Oakley's ears, but with piercing ears, I did a lot of research on it because I didn't want to just be like, oh yeah, it looks good, let's do it. But the more research I did on it, the more I came to realization that there's so many things that can happen with piercing a baby's ears. Like either it gets pierced like too low And when the ear starts growing, the hole obviously ends up moving down, and it's no longer like being able to be used. There's possibilities of like damaging their ears. There's like for instance, with my daughter's heart condition, like when she gets worked up, it puts her heart into tachycardia. And then when she goes into tachycardia, that causes her to have PVCs, which can put her back into cardiac arrest. And so with all those different factors, we are choosing personally to not pierce her ears. Whenever she's old enough to make that decision, then we will let her. But as of right now, no. Crying it out method. So with my son... Huh? Okay, sorry. I had to kick Skylar out because he was being way too loud. Where was I at? Crying it out method. Okay, so with Skylar, we didn't use the cried out method. He was obviously our first, so we were pretty clingy to him. So we had the intent to do it with my daughter, but obviously now we can't do that with her condition that she has. So no, we don't use it. Do you think parenting gets easier as children get older? As of right now, no, I don't think that. Maybe when he hits like grade school or like middle school, but as of right now, no. Skylar is rambunctious, off the walls. I love him to death, but he definitely knows how to test my nerves sometimes. Will your child/children attend pre-K? Why? I would like them to. Skylar is not potty trained yet. We've been trying to potty train him for, I think, over a year now. I think we've been trying to potty train him for about a year and a half, and he's still not ready. And I would prefer him to be potty trained before pre-K. And so this year he's not going to be attending it, but hopefully we can get him to attend at least 1 year before kindergarten. And then with Oakley, we're not sure. She has a very strict medication schedule, and it's just going to be a little like harder for us like mentally and emotionally to like send her off to someone that like a school that we're not 100% sure. Like, she can't miss a dose or be late on a dose of medication. So it's just it's very nervous. Like, it makes us very nervous to send her off. So we would like her to be able to socialize and find kids her age. But it's just, there's a longer thought process that goes into Oakley attending pre-K. Would you ever consider homeschooling? I don't want to homeschool, no. If something was to happen in the future and I had to, obviously I would do it, but no, I would not want to homeschool. Do you believe in a strict daily schedule for your children? Yes and no. I don't believe waking my children up before they want to. I think they should be able to sleep in whenever they want, unless there's a reason they have to get up for like school or for like if it's gonna, like, once Skylar's in school, like when he's in like grade school, then we'll probably make him get up earlier in the mornings, just because we don't want him to get off the schedule and then not want to wake up when it's like a school day. With Oakley, she'll always have a strict schedule just because of her medications, and then just pretty much just like that. The only part that would be strict for Oakley would just be her medications, and then obviously when she's in school, waking up early and stuff. And then Skylar does have a bedtime. He goes to bed about 9:30, but we aren't like strict on it, so sometimes it's late, sometimes it's early. So not really. We don't really have a strict daily schedule for them. Were you married before having children? So as many of you know that know me personally or have watched my videos, I am engaged. I'm not married. So no, we were not married before having kids. We have been engaged now for 3 or 4 years, and we've been together for going on 5 years. Okay, this is the last question. So, are you a stay-at-home mom or a working mom? Explain why. So I am a stay-at-home mom, as I said earlier in the video. I have been a stay-at-home mom for next month, I think marks 3 years. We chose for me to be a stay-at-home mom because babysitting at the time, neither one of us were making very much money, and Jake was obviously, he was making more than me because I was just working a retail job. And he decided that he would prefer me to stay at home because it was really hard to find a reliable babysitter that would fit into our budget. And so it was a smarter decision for me to stop working and stay at home with Skylar. So there wasn't like either one of us like missing work or like ruining our work history by losing a job because we couldn't show up. And we ended up working out for us because now Jake's supporting a family of 4 on one income comfortably, and I could not be any more thankful for him to give me the opportunity to be a stay-at-home mom and to support us the way he does. But I will probably continue to be a stay-at-home mom until Oakley attends pre-K or grade school, and at that time I'll probably only have a part-time job just in case something happens and one of the kids are sick, or if one of them needs to come home early or anything like that, just so it's easier to get out of work if I need to, for any reason like health reasons or anything. Thank you for watching. Make sure to remember to subscribe, leave us a like, comment, and share, and we will see you in the next video. Bye guys.